Hey everyone, today we have with us Dhiraj Chauhan, and believe me, he's a brilliant Android and web developer and also an open source enthusiast. And he has also cleared GSoC at 52° North last year. And also to in this year, he is also a mentor for the same organization of the project EnviroCar. And not only that, he was also an MLH Fellow at Solana Labs at 2K22 and also an GitHub Campus Expert too, so you can understand what his potential is. So his journey is really also inspiring, and today we'll learn a lot of things from him, and we'll also know how to get into GSoC, and also know about little bit about MLH fellowship and GitHub Campus Expert too. So without wasting any time, hey developers, let's get started. So yeah, welcome Dhiraj to our show, and thank you for coming here
Yeah.
first of all. So would you like to introduce
First
yourself?
of all, thank you so much for that really kind intro. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for that. Um, so hello everyone. I'm Dhiraj Chauhan. I'll just introduce myself a little bit. I'm a full stack developer at IM Forge right now.
Okay.
So just cut that part. Sorry.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Please tell me about, in short, what was your journey till now, as you are currently at third year, and from the first year to till third year, you have achieved a lot of things. So what was your journey,
yeah,
if
sure.
you want to share with
So
us?
I joined the engineering in COVID times, which was
Okay.
again, it was really painful for everyone. I think even for your batch, it was
Yeah.
really painful because everything was like really going really bad. But like we had semesters like really fast, like the first and second one, so no one actually got any proper time to do anything. But like I kind of still like from the start I knew that college anyways won't help at all. I just had that thing in my mind. My
Okay.
brother had told me that's it. I didn't know about the path or anything. I just knew that college won't help. So I had to do everything on my own. And that's something I always knew. Then, yeah, I think I started learning Python in COVID. While I was waiting for the results, I was like, I anyways gonna do computer engineering. So I was like, okay, let's just do a little bit of Python. And funny part was that I completed syntax and I was like, oh, I know everything about Python now. I'm like the master in that. But then my brother just like gave me like asked me about recursion and I was like, oh, what
That's
is that?
amazing.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, now we need to go properly. But yeah, that's how it started. And I think I got started with like a project a little bit. I made like a really so normal Android project itself, and that's how my development journey started.
Yeah.
I created a normal Android app, and funny part was like where I did like Google Summer of Code last year and Mentor right now. That's where I had like mailed the person. I was like, hey, I made like this really cool project, which was really bad project, but like this is what I know, and I would like to like contribute to your project and something. And I kind of knew from like YouTube videos like, oh, this is how you can approach open source mentors and maintainers, and you can connect with them like that. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is how I'll do it. So that's what I had done. Then person was like really kind. I know him, and he was like, yeah, let's get in a call. Let's set you up, and let's see how it can work. And like from that way, Hackathon started and like did contributions. I learned what are proper contributions, how one can like do proper contributions rather than just like doing the spammy ones. That was like a really good learning, and from that I think I have just never looked back. I was just constantly tried my best to like contribute, and I even did some internships back then, but obviously they were not that great. But I had something that okay, like in the summer of 2022, I had to do something good because that's something like I had planned because I knew about a lot of programs I was already applying for, like MLH Fellowship. I know we'll talk about that later. But yeah, like fellowship, and then I knew about Google Summer of Code also. I knew about Google Summer of Code, but I never thought open source just for Google Summer of Code. It is more
Yeah,
like I like doing it. That's why I was like, even if you see at my GitHub, I was like doing a lot of
exactly.
contributions to different projects. I even did contribution to like Sitam, I guess, in the
Like
Oktoberfest
the
or after
Hacktoberfest.
Oktoberfest, and that's how we like got connected, which
Exactly.
was like really awesome, and we're still friends. And like yeah, so that's the really good part about open source. Like you connect with a lot of people. It's not just like a just doing like a college project or something. It's something like brings you to like a lot of people. I got to learn a lot after contributing to Sitam's project, and see we have been like still friends and talking
Exactly.
with each other, contributing and stuff, right? And yeah, then I was able to do fellowship. Like at that time I was like as a contributor, as a person who wants to like go for something in the summer, I was like I'm obviously going to apply for all the opportunities I can get. So I was like applying for fellowship also. I applied for Google Summer of Code also. So I was like trying my best to do anything which I could do. And then I got into a fellowship, and I was like, oh yes, that's really awesome. This summer will be like really great. And then at that time also like in my mind I was like, oh, I had also filled application for like Google Summer of Code. What if I get selected in that too? That's gonna be a little scary, because like managing both while being
Yeah.
student, that was scary.
Also, college
But
is there.
exactly, yeah, as a student that was hard. And then I think 20th May or something was the date when GSoC results got announced, and everything was like waiting. I was also on Twitter. I was checking that, oh, is anyone, because usually Twitter is the place people always
Exactly.
talk about things, like
Exactly.
checking like, oh, everyone is saying, oh, why the results are not out yet? Like it was supposed to be out, I think 11 p.m., but it was not out. So everyone was checking. I was also like checking till 12 a.m., 12 a.m., checking. So it was not working, but somehow one person posted that, oh, links are out. So usually you get mail when you get accepted, but
Hmm.
mails were not out. But organizations which got like mentees and mentors connected, that was out. And I was like, okay, let's check my name. And my name was there. And I was like, wow, that's freaking
The
awesome.
most
I
wow
actually
moment of
cracked.
your life.
Yeah, like Google Summer of Code. But at that time also I was like scared, like, oh shoot, I have now college, fellowship, and Google Summer of Code, and I have no idea how I'm gonna manage that. But yeah, like I was able to manage everything, and that all pretty well worked. And I pretty much attribute all my learnings, all my career opportunities, everything to open source. Everything I have done have helped me through open source, which is always like grateful to it. So yeah, I guess that's how everything got started. And then fellowship I did at Solana Labs, and that's where like I'm still working full stack developer at Ironforge at that particular industry itself, which is being like I'm really good part of the community, and love being part of there. At the same time, while everything was happening, I was also like doing community work and helping other students towards
Yeah.
programming, open source, and sharing what I could do from my side. And me and other folks in my college were also doing the same. And we also kind of thought like because other students in the college were like doing the same thing, and we were like, we are doing dev, why is no one talking about that? Why is no one
Exactly.
talking about open source? Like there has to be something or some club or something, because usually in college there are. So we thought, oh, let's do something. We were already like teaching them on the side by side, like
Hmm.
maybe sometimes we will just do normal get up session and open source and normal thing. But it was like, how about a proper community where people can like join and have a shared struggle, where they can all be connected. And that's when we like started Certus Coders. It was kind of started for like college, but now obviously it's not just for college. That like we're always trying to do our best to give
Yeah,
opportunities to
exactly.
the people
Your
there.
that community is
Yeah.
actually growing. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
and the important part is we do it when we are free. We do not put like that thing above our work, because that is work is more important than like doing the community work. That's what I believe. You do it when you are like inspired to do it. You do it when you like
Exactly.
enjoy, when you are free, and feel like giving back to the community. And that's what we try our best to do.
Really
And yeah, I
appreciable.
think that's thank you so much. That's all have like my journey has been. Yeah.
Really inspiring and a great story ever. So, you have told a lot about open source. So, can you share that how that open source changed your life? That from a student to be a just like a professional. You can say yourself now a
Yeah.
professional. So, how it changes everything in open
I
source.
would say, like, I never thought open source as like something which will change or something. Even I think now that like people like Kunal Kushwaha and other people have
Hmm.
talked so much about open source and everything, so everyone has now at least some understanding of it. But at that time, it was not like I didn't used to follow Kunal Kushwaha that much. I think I just used to watch his GSoC series because I was still back then doing data structures algorithms. But that was something like, as I said, right? I did some project and I just applied, like connected with mentor or something, and that's how my open source journey kind of started. And then Hacktoberfest was like a really good initial part of the journey where I got to actually learn what proper open source contribution is, rather
Hmm.
than like doing spammy ones or something just taken off from web. And from that, I think it has been like a really great journey because I was able to meet so many new people, connect with new people. um, Apart from all this, I got so many opportunities. I think I've gone like, even at where I work right now, I kind of manage the open source part of it, where like we have a platform where other learners can like usually start from our platform itself, which is like for
Hmm.
Soldev, which is like for learning Solana development, and that is open source. And I kind of manage it. So like I've always liked doing the open source part. And talking about how it has changed, it has like everything which I've gotten, as I said, right, I've gotten from open source itself, and that's really that's why like I like to always attribute to it, like because that's how I've gotten. Like let it be like fellowship. When I did at Solana Labs, we built an open source project and it was open source stack only. Same goes with like Google Summer of Code, like the most famous program which
Yeah.
encourages people to do open source. That was also like from there. Now I'm mentoring there, so I'm encouraging other people to do the same. I so yeah, like I think it has changed pretty much everything from
Yeah, that's really great. Yeah. So that before coming to the GSoC part, so at first, can you say in short, or you can say a quick introduction of what MLH Fellow is and what is the GitHub Campus Expert program?
Sure. So MLH Fellowship is similar to an internship,
Okay.
but where internships are sometimes fast forwarded, or sometimes it's like too much focus on work, while fellowship focuses on learning, and their motto is kind of like learn while doing. So they focus more on to learning and try their best to like give a really good experience to the fellows which are there. Now a bunch of companies come there, so MLH kind of becomes a bridge between the industry and the
Okay.
students. And students can kind of company they can basically connect both the people. And yeah, they it's an internship, but they focus more on to learning. And that is where if there is a beginner who has never got part to like become uh, connect with like industry people, fellowship is
Hmm.
like a really good start because they can connect with other fellows from like different part of the world. Second, they can connect with like the industry mentors, because that's where like in fellowship usually you get assigned to a mentor, which is really helpful for you to connect with them and have some benefits there also. And there are a bunch of way too many benefits. And fellowship was like a really good part of my journey also. And MLH is like pretty awesome. I would like recommend everyone, like for sure you should check out MLH.
Yeah.
And talking about Campus Expert program, so Campus Expert program or GitHub Campus Expert program is a program for leaders to get help from GitHub about for their community. As I said, I had set as coders, and at that time, I didn't know much about GitHub Campus Expert. I just had seen or learned from the YouTube that there is a program which helps the community and focuses more on to giving back to the community rather than like um, marketing that product, which was like
Hmm.
a really good point for me. Like, okay, this is something which is gonna focus more on to help my community rather than like focusing on marketing the product or something. And that's when I'm like, okay, it's gonna help my community, so I'll just apply for it. And then slowly again there are a bunch of videos which are out there about campus experts. And
Hmm.
Siddhartha Alval's video is like the most uh, inspired video for me, and that's how I got like more inspired, like okay, this is something which I would definitely like to be part of and represent my community with the help of this. So yeah, like in short, GitHub Campus Expert Program is a program for leaders who want help uh, take their community, give opportunities to them, and bunch of things you can get it from there. Yeah.
Cool. So those of you who are learning and listening to this podcast and don't know about these programs, maybe most of you know about that, and those who don't know, you can definitely check them out. And we can talk about these things later on. And as GSoC is coming, so now we are coming to the GSoC part. So Dhiraj, can you say a short introduction about GSoC for those who don't know about what this program is?
Sure. So Google Summer of Code is a global online program which is sponsored by Google, and it focuses on bringing new contributors to open source. It tries to encourage more contributors to like contribute to the open source projects, and yeah, it has been there for like more than, I'm pretty sure it's more than 10 years, and it has always been like giving back to the open source community. And the way it works is some organizations apply with their project which they would like uh, to be worked in the summer. This the summer is usually 12 to 24 weeks,
Mhm.
and then they get selected if Google likes their project or something. I'm not sure how that works, but once they get selected, every project gets assigned to a mentor. Then, as I said, it's all about like bringing new contributors to
Mhm.
the open source platform, right? And that's where the contributors who have been contributing connects to the mentor, connects to the organization, and they will pitch their ideas that hey, I want to work on this project, and this is how I can work and all that stuff. And then they kind of create a proposal where they pitch all their ideas, which they have been talking to mentors, organizations, and everything. And yeah, that's, I guess that's all about like a short intro about Google Summer of Code.
Great, great. So, if someone is you are saying that GSoC is all about to bringing all the new developers to the open source platform. So, what guidance you want to give them to come forward for GSoC? And there exists also some FOMO. Many people are actually thinking that GSoC is really hard to get into that. And so, what one could do if he or she just beginning their career or just started learning. Uh, so how he anyone can get into the GShock uh, if you give the guidance.
But um, so getting part is easier, as I said, right? Open source comes with like the definition itself is like publicly accessible.
Mhm.
So all the organizations are public, and I usually like to tell people that focus more onto open source, and GSoC is just an opportunity which comes along the way, and that's how I got started and um, was part of this journey. I try to say the same, but if you're like applying for a Google Summer of Code, then for sure, again, everything is hard when you start,
Mhm.
but it becomes easier and easier. And since open source has like bunch of code bases, so when you're checking for the first time, it will be like hard for you to get
Exactly.
started. But again, every project has a community around it where you can ask your doubts and they can help you go ahead with it, right? And yes, like I would also say getting into Gold Summer of Code is obviously hard because this is the most famous program out there
Mhm.
about open source. But everything does, as I said, becomes easier as long as you work hard. I have seen so many people getting into Gold Summer of Code after doing like 1 month of contribution and pitching their ideas to the mentors and trying their best. So yeah, like there is always time to contribute to open source projects. And again, as I said, right, you don't need to focus more on the Google Summer of Code, even if that there is no, like, let's say you think there is no time for you or something, you can again keep contributing. And I've seen so many people, or at least not so many, but really good, great people who have never been part of Google Summer of Code as a participant, but since they have been contributing to the project, they have become directly mentor without ever contributing, without ever becoming the Google Summer of
Cool.
Code participant. So as
Exactly.
I said, right, open source brings a lot of opportunities, and Google Summer of Code is just another opportunity which comes along it, which will
Exactly.
come along your journey if you can't keep contributing. Yeah.
It's all about actually learning. So if you want to learn, then open source is giving you the cream about that. That
Yes.
cream learning you will get from there. Good code base will be there. Good mentor will be there. So if you want to connect, if you want to learn more, then go for open source. Me
I
also
agree.
trying to learn more and more. So coming to the next question, Dhiraj. So as you are in this year, you are a mentor of GSoC. So can you share that how you become the mentor and also about your organization and about your project if you want to share. And you have also made two videos. I
Yeah.
will share all these things on the description. You guys can check them out. So please, Dhiraj.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a Google Summer of Code mentor at 52 Degree North.
Mm-hmm.
And this year I'll be mentoring a project called EnviroCar at Voice Command. I'll just give a brief intro about what 52 Degree North is. It's an open source organization which researches on several topics like geoinformatics, in the field of geoinformatics. Um, and yeah, it focuses on like geological stuff and have a lot of projects which, and we have been getting into like Google Summer of Code for like a past, I think, at least 6 to 7 or more than that years, and we have been like always and I'm pretty sure that that already explains that Google has been looking into our contribution to the open source and the community, and that's why we have been always coming back, right? And about EnviroCar app itself, EnviroCar app is Android app, which is, or if I just talk about like my project itself, which is EnviroCar app voice command. The project is all about giving voice commands to the Android application of EnviroCar. Now,
Okay.
what the project requires is, uh, or just a brief intro about that is, uh, since EnviroCar Android app is used while driving, it's obviously becomes a danger if the driver is interacting with the
Mm.
application, and as it can also lead to like accidents. That's why in last year this was the project which I worked on, and where I added bunch of voice commands to like start recording, start tracking, stop tracking, and other small voice commands. So that was like the last time in the brief intro. What we are expecting this time is to stabilizing the whole voice command feature, where we want to focus more onto the voice accuracy. Now, this voice command feature brings something just like you do with like OK Google in your Google, but something for our EnviroCar Android app, and we have something like a Hey EnviroCar. um, so yeah, we want to like stabilize the feature, we want to increase the accuracy of like the wake word, which is like Hey EnviroCar, the libraries which we are using. And again, we would like to like add more voice commands on top of what I've already done. The feature is for sure experimental. That's
Mm-hmm.
why we don't expect everyone to be like already be master of it. We don't, at least I don't expect as a contributor, you don't as I don't expect from a contributor that you will like give me bunch of code which is working or something. What I expect from you is like bunch of ideas, bunch of curiosity, and bunch of research which you have been done while testing out your like code locally and something, and you bring out the results to me that hey, I use this library and it's increasing the accuracy. That is what I want, which is a communication between you and me rather than you showcasing me directly the code and saying that hey, it's working. Well, it
Okay.
is working, but I don't know your thought process. I really don't know what happened there,
Mm-hmm.
and I also don't have too much time to like go through all your code, right? Rather than I would like to like get to know about what your approach is, and that's what like I'm a firm believer on like approach first and then code second. So if you like give me the approach and we can like talk together, and then you can for sure go ahead and code, and that's what I expect from the contributor. And yeah, that's all about the project I'll be mentoring.
So yeah, those of you who are really interested to contribute this project is actually a great project, and those of you are really interested to this project to contribute in this GShock, so you can apply for that project. And Dhiraj is always there to help you out, guys. And one more thing, Dhiraj, that many people struggles at the time of writing proposals in GShock. So can you give a short brief on that? That how one can start or approach their proposal in their proposal, and what should be included there?
Yeah, sure. So whenever someone asks me like this question about like proposal, I always say that you should talk with your mentor. You should
Mhm.
talk with the organization, because every organization, every mentor has different needs. Something which works for like me as a mentor won't work for like other organizations like Kivix or something, because they have their different template.
Mhm.
They might want more PRs or more contribution in their proposal, but as I said, right, I won't expect from you to like write PRs or something, because since the feature itself is experimental, you can't just
Exactly.
like directly write code and make it like way too better, because I want to know the proper thought process and flow going there. So you can again I'll share the website with Sitam. We have a template which you can add in your proposal, um, which goes with the same flavor. Usually, every organization usually have this, so
Mhm.
you can like use that and describe yourself in that, and how and your approach for the project, which is the most important part. But credibility, that who's the person who's gonna be working, that is also kind of important. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So hope the things are getting clearer now for you guys who are listening there. And also, Dheeraj, we are coming to very last of our program. So some small questions still are there for you. That what you thought about on community contribution and learning in public.
My thoughts are that they both are really awesome thing, and I was able to get to know about these things in the really start of my career, which has helped. Like not the most start, but I think I have leveraged them in a really efficient way, which I can say that oh, it's similar to like the start only. I would tell everyone who's like interested in doing things, for sure, do things in public, walk in public, uh, uh, share your new things which you have learned in public, because that's a really good way to let everyone know what you have been working. That kind of like helps you to connect also to other people who are working on the same uh, uh, topic, or learning the same topic, or building similar projects, which usually helps in like getting hackathon participants. Or like I've like this is still as a beginner, yes, it is like you might not get interactions or something, but again, it's a long journey, right? So it's gonna take time. Like
Exactly.
if I just talk about like the where I'm working right now, it all started it I got this part-time job via the building in public itself, because I had built a project for Solana community, and I posted that, hey, this is the project I'm working in. The project, like everyone really liked it, and it kind of blew up like the tweet. And like the CEO was like, hey, let's chat, and let's talk about project and you and everything. And that's how I also got it. And so it's always like, that's why like I admire like a lot of these things, like building in public and open source and all these things, because that's something I've always admired and got opportunity through. So I would also like tell everyone to like try doing these things. Again, it's all about exploring. If something this doesn't work for you, it's fine, you can try out other things also. But yeah, that's my recommendation for this.
True, true. Absolutely agree. And Dheeraj, the last question for you. Any
Yeah,
tips you want to share for all the aspiring devs and open source enthusiasts, or tech lovers, you can say, who are just starting out or mid of their career? Any tips you want to share for them?
sure. First, if you're like starting open source contributions, I would say have patience. There will be a lot of hard times where you won't get the answer fast from the maintainer. They won't check
Mhm.
maybe PR for like weeks, 2 weeks. Even at like my organization, I also take a little time, because first of all, it's like it's really overwhelming, because a lot of contributors are there, and second, since a lot of contributors are there, it becomes really hard to reply to everyone. And even we mentors have like our thing going on, right? Like for me, I'm still a student, I have a part-time job also at the same time, so we are like doing voluntarily. So you have to understand that yes, it takes uh,
Exactly.
time, and you need to have patience. And other than that, yeah, the journey will be ups and downs for sure. But I like it's always fun when your like PR is getting merged, or the learning part is really best because you pretty much get code reviews from the people who have written the code, which are used by like so many people and have a really good user base, which is amazing part thing. For at least for me, it was to get good reviews from them and get everything. And third thing, which I would say, is open source is obviously not for just coding people.
Mm-hmm.
I like to say open source is for developers, but when I say developers, I mean like the people who are involved in developing that particular project, which involves everyone, which involves the person who's doing marketing, the person who's designing the project, the person who's doing UI, UX, everything, right? And the coding is obviously the
Exactly.
part which is always there. But even if you're not a coder, there is a place for you. And if there is not yet, you can start talking about it. Like if you're a person who likes to design, how about redesign the open source website you are seeing or something like that? That can be a good way to start. Like if Zoom was open source, maybe you could have designed like a new UI for Zoom, maybe something this can work. Or if
Exactly.
something like using like creating a document where you can showcase, oh, these are the primary colors, these are secondary colors. So a person who may be writing front end code, it might be useful for them to like understand, oh, this is something which I can use in the
Yeah.
next feature or something like that. So there is every thing for everyone, as long as you take initiative and find ways. And yeah, I guess that's all I would say. The last thing would be just like explore and ask in public, build in public, and that will definitely be beneficial to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dhiraj. Thank you for giving your precious time here, and thank you for helping the community. And you are doing a really great things like helping community, helping for people, helping developers, and many things you are doing. And those of you who are really interested in this year's GSoC 2K23 to contribute on 52° North about NVIDIA car, so you can directly contact with Dheeraj. He is really active on different platforms, and I will share all the social handles in the description, and all the necessary link I will put on the description. You can guys go and check out there. And thank you, Dheeraj, for your time again.
Yeah.
And
I would just like to say like Sitam is really kind person. Like every time I've talked to him, he's like the most kind person. And yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. And I've been checking your videos. Those are amazing.
yeah, thank you. And Dheeraj, I am also trying this year's
Yeah.
G-Shock as I am
No,
fourth
no,
year
you
right
are
now.
good. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see you. And
Yeah.
thank you for coming,
Yeah.
giving your time. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.